What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Danny the Bull here with Patient Hodler. We got Pags coming in. Mr. Pags will be here. I think he's just running a little late. And we're here for episode 3 of the No Bull Show. So, Hodler, thanks for coming on. This is your second time. I appreciate you taking time out.
Thanks for having me on No Bull, and so far I can't see any bulls here. So what's going on?
I'm a bull. You're a bull too.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Everyone who
Yeah.
is watching that stuff that I do in the mornings knows that I'm a degen bull as well when it is the time for being bullish. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are expecting like this to be a fun fest here between you and Pags as my guest, but
well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Pags is fashionably late, but he'll be here. I communicated with him on Twitter just a little while ago. So while we're waiting for him, we'll get started with some conversation here. And see, we got Mr. V here. What's good, Mr. V? I want to talk about. We'll start with, I guess, what did you think of the Vivv Verse first look that debuted on that Vivv Vantage podcast? I'm assuming that you saw it and you saw the reception to it as well. I'm interested to hear your take on it.
Yeah, actually, I tried to follow that very closely. So I saw it. I actually watched it on my stream with the people, and my reaction was disappointed in the first run. So, and then today in the morning, I circled back to it to discuss it a little bit more. Because I actually learned some things on the way from what was the name of the guy that created it again on Twitter?
Tails.
Yeah, exactly. So Tales of Rizzo or something like that.
Yeah, Tales from the Rizzo.
Yeah, exactly. So he said some things that were interesting, like, for example, that the quality, and he proved it by screenshots, that the quality got hindered by his video editing, and that also some things that he loaded in were actually not metaverse adjusted by Veve, so the quality wasn't. So he wanted to have lightning, but the lightning wasn't adjusted. So that put some things into perspective, because I thought, hey, you can't really let us have this, let's say, low quality stuff and say this is the new Vivv Verse demo. And obviously then also, hey, it's a fan-made video, basically, right? A user-made video, so to say. It's not an official, not tutorial, but how
like
do you
a demo,
call it?
like an official demo.
Yeah, like a live action play demo or whatever. But how did you see this? How did you feel?
I thought it was pretty dope. I mean, I didn't watch it that night because it was late for me. I went to sleep. But I saw it in the morning. I saw the feedback around it first, and I saw that there were like some technical hiccups or whatever. But I thought it was good. I thought it looked great. I don't know. Some people expect. I don't expect like GTA 5 graphics or anything like that. GTA 6, whatever they're up to. I don't expect it to look like you do.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I don't expect. I don't expect gaming quality. So I just expect, a better version of the showroom, right? And I thought that he did a great job putting it together, and I thought that it was good.
Yeah. So I also joined the space today where they were talking with them about how the video came together, and some other people were in the mix, Brock McBlockchain and some others.
Yeah.
And I am now really interested because, I mean, we don't get to see much. Now we have this fan-made video or this user-made video to get grasp what's really going on, because we get so much information that wasn't out before, like land sales probably not being on the table anymore, and then some people say, hey, that's not what they said, it's not off the table, so no one knows exactly what's happening. So and with regards to the graphics, I think they are fine. I don't care about graphics. I said it many times before. Whoever has played the most popular games that are out there, many of those don't actually have good graphics. I mean, you can literally put some colored cubes in front of people, and they will play it in masses like Minecraft. No one can tell me that the graphics of the cobblestone are really good in Minecraft, or World of Warcraft, like the swords that literally have 5 dots or so design, and still it gives you the best feeling ever, that in the sense of playing with other people in a virtual world. So what I was interested in today, actually got some insights, was the social aspect of the Vivv Verse. And in that space, they said that it's actually quite easy to call someone over and to publish your vault or your city or whatever you've built. And even if you go offline, people can still access it and run around if it's published as open. So that opens up a lot of doors where I have to think more about. Yeah, but I don't know. Have you joined the space? Have you seen this?
I didn't. No, I didn't get a chance to join that space. I saw that it was going on, and there were quite a few people in there, but I didn't. I didn't get a chance to hear what was going on. So I'm glad to hear your insight there.
Yeah.
You mentioned before the talk of like the token and around the Vivv Verse integration. I talked about that a couple times on stream. What are your thoughts there, and how that was represented in the 2 AMAs that we had last week?
Yeah, so Ecomi is traditionally underrepresented in the AMAs overall, I would say. Sometimes, so because we had 2 AMAs and then spaces and I don't know what, so sometimes it's really hard to follow everything, especially because sometimes what David and Dan said doesn't really exactly line up, for example, with regards to bots and burned wallets and I don't know what. But from what I understand is that yes, the blockchain team is working on it. It takes longer. We do not have a timeline on bronze tickets, and that the OMI token took some severe hits on the roadmap, because if the OMI token is not the currency for purchasing land, and it's also not the currency at the moment for purchasing NFTs, then it is probably not a currency at all at the moment on the roadmap. So yeah, I mean, on the roadmap, maybe it's still not kicked from the roadmap that it's going to be an option for purchasing something like an NFT, but yeah, there's no clear timeline, and so everything is speculation.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, so I can understand, and Sound Money here says David and Dan flip-flopping too much. Red flag. Part of me can understand the need to shift gears, right, with the regulatory environment that we're in, specifically when like Mana, Sand were named as securities in that Coinbase lawsuit, right? However, like the way they drop information and communicate to me is what's kind of like leads to confusion. Instead of like coming out with official updates, they kind of drop these things as, you know, asides, as just like, oh, by the way, and then that leads to confusion and frustration.
Yeah, that was I think since I'm making videos, that is basically the #1 criticism is communication, that it's bad. And no matter what they did with getting Alex to do the communication, now the space was hosted by someone else. I don't even know who that was. I just heard the voice, so I cannot recognize that by voice.
That was Ryan, I think, today hosting that space.
Oh yeah, maybe it was Ryan. Yeah. So I think overall, I don't know why someone has put, maybe this is a company culture that has grown, that communication is weird. But I agree with you, and I have to really, I have to be honest right now, and people will probably quote me on that or be angry with me, but I cannot hear it anymore. Like I really cannot hear it anymore. Oh, that's because the SEC. It's like if Gary Gensler is sitting there waiting for David and Dan to make the wrong move to drop the ban hammer on them, right? And it's like, oh, they cannot tell any utility for the token because Gary Gensler is coming with his, I don't know, Batmobile, and is going to throw the token I mean, there are so many crypto projects out that are way more interesting to the SEC to set precedents and drop the ban hammer. Tokens that have real buyback and burn mechanics, tokens that have, I don't know, the craziest interaction like Terra Luna, algorithmic stablecoin that buys things automatically from the market and stuff like that. There's so much out. We have, how many coins do we have? If we go to CoinGecko, we have 20,000 coins out there that the SEC can go after, and Ecomi is not even listed on exchanges. So it's probably, if you would ask Gary Gensler today, he probably doesn't know what Ecomi is. And
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's the point. That's what they want.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, that's the argument now. That's exactly what they want. Don't appear on the radar, right? But the question is then, why are the other 200 coins that are pumping left and right not on that radar? Why didn't they get thrown out by Banhammer? To finish the rant, I think, again, as I said, around the Vivv Verse and so on, if you want to have a successful bull run with your token, then you will need to control the narrative around the token. And you have said it before, and I've just shown this today as well. Decentraland, I think, is one of the tokens that was named in the Coinbase lawsuit as a security, right? Mm-hmm. Unregistered security. So what came out today is Decentraland whale activity is rising. So there are like tens of millions of whale transactions on Decentraland. So even that, no one cares if the SEC thinks that it's a security. There's no precedent. Even if they are saying it's a security, it will probably take them another 3 years into the next bear market to take action. So I really cannot accept that argument. I can accept the argument for buybacks, but not for saying, oh, we can get bronze tickets. Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and give you the counter argument. I think that a difference between Omi and Sandbox, Decentraland, is that they're full Web3, they're full crypto projects, and Omi is Web 2.5, and they have their real world business with their connections to the IP. And so I think that's what it is. They're kind of like merging real world stuff with crypto, and they're not all in on crypto. And that's a problem for the token, I guess, in terms of moving it along, like brand marketing it, whatever, in this sort of environment.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an argument. I would definitely not say that that is not the reason behind the thinking. You could also argue that the licensors demand that you don't do stupid stuff, with your token, and basically put hey, this app that also launches all the brands is putting out a token that is, I don't know, like a scam or security or whatever. On the other side, there are many tokens, many cryptos that have ties into absolute, even government regulated real world use cases. For example, Chainlink. Chainlink has a partnership with Swift. That is not a physical product, but it's a product outside of Web3. It's fiat payment transmission, so to say, right? So what is the argument then that Chainlink is not labeled as security, puts out all the good news, partners with Swift, has an impressive movement, massive whale accumulation. So what is the difference then here between Veve, who is not on the radar, and Chainlink that is partnering with Swift? And you can make that, you can find that on other sites as well. For example, IMX has partnered with GameStop. GameStop is a real world physical store, so to say, like store line. They also have digital stuff, obviously, or mostly now. But the list goes on and on. Polygon is partnering with so many companies that have real world products. So yeah, I don't think that this is an argument that 100% convinces me.
Justin, thanks for the super chat. Wants to know Mr. Pag's World War III predictions. Pag should be in here soon. He's running late. Maybe he lost track of time. I sent him I I DM'd him. He should be here. We're going to find out what his thoughts are on World War III, on aliens, and all sorts of stuff, I'm sure.
When is Patient Hodler getting on? Justin wants to know. I don't know. Am I muted?
Yeah. Oh, that's what this is.
Patient Hodler. I don't know. That's me. You mean Pax, right? I'm confused. Are you confused, Danny?
Yeah, I don't know what Justin means here, man. But I appreciate
but thanks for the $2, right?
Yeah. So then, what do you think it is then? If it's what do you think scares them so much?
I don't know if they are scared or if they literally don't know how to implement the thing. I don't know. Because maybe the task that they put in front of them to implement all these mechanics with the token are maybe too complicated. I don't know, all that raffle and tying into MCP. So I could understand. So probably my theory would be they wanted to have MCP ready way faster, and they already see that MCP has some problems. And then they did a try where they let you transfer OMI and you get MCP for it. And they saw that it's super difficult now to balance that to make it fair. And that's 1% of the whole story, because we did not get at tickets, at advantages, at airdrops, at breakage fees, buying OMI in the app, and so on. So maybe, and this is probably also why they deleted some of the roadmap milestones or some milestone from the roadmap, because they saw that it's probably at this point in time not feasible to have enough resources to build that all, or it doesn't work with the app. Yeah. That's
well, they did mention that they're building out a new platform. Did you hear that piece? Dan had said in his AMA with Vivv Vantage that they are, when he sees the app, he sees it, the 2024 version of it 6 months down the line, and something about they're building out a new platform.
Okay. So yeah,
so maybe those things will be possible there.
I heard that part, but I did understand it a little bit different, because he also said that the looks and feels and so on that he sees is not what the next version will be. So I understood it more that they are going to remodel, to give it a new design and so on. And I think we can already see that if we look at our MCP points. I mean, this looks almost a little bit out of place, the ranks and everything. So probably as the logo has shifted and as this appearance shifts, so probably the entire app would be redesigned. But I didn't understand that there is a new type of platform.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was getting at, like a redesign.
Yeah, redesign. Okay, so it's
maybe
a redesign,
like
but the functionality stays the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, much room for speculation. I mean,
and I think that's the problem, right? Is that there's too much room for speculation. Like you said before, a lot of it is about controlling the narrative. And when they just drop out nuggets of information like that contradict previous information, then the community starts forming their own narratives.
Yep. And they retreat to the argument, oh, we have overpromised before, we don't do that anymore. So basically what they are saying is, so we are not going to communicate normally with the fam anymore, or only in riddles, or only saying stuff that can be interpreted in 20 different ways, because of that. So they justify this behavior with that, instead of getting a better line of communication and say, look, this is the difficulties. It takes really long. We don't want to promise any timelines anymore, but this is what we're working on, and so on. So as we have demanded many times, instead we are getting always this. Then I think David said it sometimes, don't quote me on this, but I can imagine that
they're scared. I think, I think that they're like traumatized, I think, from all the backlash that they've gotten. And so they always say, don't quote me on this, or please don't hold me to this. Which I understand. I mean,
Yeah, but instead, what people do now is they take the remaining milestones that have been reconfirmed over and over again, and they hold them to those. Yeah, and they are asking 2020 when the first came in, 21, 22, 23. Where are all those milestones? And I can understand that question. Yeah.
So last time you were on No Bull Show, the first episode, I said we have Moonboy Hodler here because you were optimistic. I felt like you were Moonboy-ish. Of course, obviously now sentiment is down. What will it take for you to get back to that? Sven says here, all we have to do is get a few items or updates in order to stop the FUD, shift that sentiment. Because, I think it is true that sentiment goes up and down, and it was very low middle of the year, and then August came and it shot up due to Vivv Verse beta rollout announcement and the first bit of the utility. And then it went down a little, but it spiked again in October around everything with New York Comic Con, the live in-person events, right? Created enthusiasm, the comic releases, Funko partnership. We had a bunch of positive news item after another. The Louboutin partnership was cool. However, since then, sentiment's down again, I think in large part because we've seen all these altcoins running and OMI is retraced. And then that reminds us of all the lack of accomplishments and whatnot. So what will it take to turn bullish again in terms of sentiment?
Yeah, so you called me a moon boy because I said that we are going back to all-time highs at this show.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the price prediction, and I still stick to that, but it has nothing to do with my criticism, because I think that even the worst dead shitcoin with only a couple of tweets and a couple of exchanges can get back to the all-time highs. So I think that we have to separate two things: the potential where OMI can go, and going back to all-time highs is a 17x. Yeah, so I could have had from where we are right now. So that's a good return, very good return, right? But it's at the same time also a return that you can expect from most of the top 200 altcoins, up to the top 50, where you cannot necessarily expect that because of market cap and so on. So where I can combine that bullishness on the coin and the criticism that I'm putting out is
it's a Freudian
the reason why I put my money or some money into OMI and not into other coins was that I expected more because of all the milestones.
Yeah.
If I wanted whatever 17x coin, I would have taken all my money and thrown it into render a bit ago, and maybe that would have been the better choice. We will see in the end. At the same time, I know that all these catalysts are lying in front of OMI, except the ones that are now being kicked off the list. Still, there's enough. There's literally enough to go to 2, 3, or 4 cents. Just by repeating the same roadmap. They literally could repeat to all the retail users that are coming in the same roadmap. OMI would pump on retail roadmap, put some promises out, and get some exchanges rolling. That would be enough, in my opinion, to get it pumping. And obviously nothing crazy like Black Swan can happen to the app and to,
of course, and to the macro.
Yeah.
So you are still Moonboy Hodler. I like it.
Yeah. So I'm both, actually. I'm a little bit of both. I still think a 10 to 15x to 17x is of course relatively easy achievable. But I was of the opinion that with all the milestones, that if they start because bringing that utility, I thought they would follow it up. And they will follow it up with a milestone every 2 to 3 months into that bull run. That's what I thought, right? Now,
especially if we go back. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was in August that they brought it. So technically, if they launch one more feature now in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we would be in that every quarter one milestone for the OMI token schedule. But yeah, people see the altcoins running, as you correctly said, and they're asking themselves, why didn't it run? And to be fair, it did run right before. We had 100% pump. Now we retraced 50% of that.
Right. And it's interesting because during that time, the rest of crypto was not running. When OMI went up 100%, the rest of crypto was not running. And now when the rest of crypto is running, we coughed most of that back up.
But why did it run? Because of the news. So that is why people are angry that no news are coming out anymore for the OMI token, because they wanted to see that, retrace, and go again, right, on more news. And depends on how much news they have in store. We also have to say, if you want to do that into a post-halving altcoin season or something like that, then you have to really wait. Because if you only have bronze tickets ready, you cannot burn them right now. Then you have to wait. Yeah, that's true. But we had a bull run, and there was no utility ready maybe. But now I think the next, as I said, I'll give it 6 months from now, more or less, 1st of May. If I don't see anything, I will mitigate risk.
Yeah, but you're diversified, so I mean, like, I'm comfortable. I'm not worried about OMI at all because I'm diversified, and so you know, everything is running. But I'm not getting anxious or frustrated because my portfolio is going up just fine with everything else. But the thing is, if you're not diversified and if you go in on any one altcoin, it's not really a good idea because you're just attaching too much risk. Because outside of Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, everything else is higher up the risk ladder, especially when you get to these projects like OMI.
That may be true. So first of all, we have our Randys and our Jordans that have a ton in OMI. Okay. And I mean, we like the guys, so we want that it happens for them, but also everyone here in the chat, right? I mean, there are people that are OMI only because they literally, maybe, for example, I know people that only bought OMI because it was the only thing they really say, okay, I'm comfortable, I understand what they are going to do.
Yeah.
So now that this is not going to happen, those people will be frustrated. The second thing is, I'm not so chill, even though it's only a smaller portion of my portfolio, because the whole entire reason why I started YouTube and I'm talking with all the fam that is also here is because of Ecomi and Veve. So I want to have this succeed. Yes, I can go walk away to other altcoins and create other content. It will do fine, right? I mean, I talk about Bitcoin and altcoins all the time. But I want to see this one here, for which I have made the channel and so many videos. I want this to succeed, right? So I am not someone who is trying to fud this into oblivion. I want to have it succeed. So it makes me angry if I see that it's left on the sidelines.
Yeah. And I never take what you say as FUD. I think that you are constructive with your criticism, but you will, you know, speak on things when you're not happy. And I think that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think it's important to be constructive with our words, because that will push things. We possibly, hopefully, you know, inform the team or whatever the project maybe and raise some serious concerns.
Yeah, which is what you are doing as well with your content. Certainly the title Noble didn't come from trying to push everything by Moonboy statements. Appreciate that.
Sound Money says Pags is probably in his Armageddon underground cave right now. Yeah, he'll be here. I don't know. He's from New York, I think, Pags. So I was going to say maybe like the time, maybe he thinks because we had daylight savings recently, but he's probably in his cave. He'll be here, I'm sure, because I did communicate with him about 2 hours ago.
I was just thinking right now about, because you said communication, and we almost forgot how that is really one of their biggest problems, and how easy it would be to read. You remember the tweet and also what Dan said in 2021, where they said we are going to go interoperable by the end of the year. And I think they said, oh yeah, the licenses, they are all going to go interoperable and so on. And you only had to rephrase it a little bit. You only had to rephrase it a little bit and be more conservative. You only had to write, oh yeah, we are going to go interoperable without a timeline. Nice, yes, we do, but in 5 years. And then you, in the interview, you say, oh yeah, we are talking with licensors about interoperability. And then they can say, yeah, the licensors are not so comfortable right now, but maybe in 3 years. So that this is like little wordings, and they are just, I think they still do this. They come out like David, you, Dan, they still come out here and there where someone will take this tiny section and they will come back in 1 year and throw it in their face.
Why do you think it is?
So hope for David, I really think that David is, I really genuinely think that David is exactly what they describe him to be, a little bit of a child still, in the sense of collecting and super excited, and he just wants to share what he has, what he's experiencing. I don't think that is on David's part anything malicious or timed. Mm-hmm. It's just that he's not enough on the leash. It sounds really bad, but he's not enough on the leash where someone is briefing him and saying, hey, look, when you go in this interview, don't say these, that, these, here are your talking points. So a while ago, I read an article about Gwynne Shotwell, who is one of the most important managers at SpaceX for Elon Musk, or she was. I don't know if she's still there. The article is a couple of years ago. But Elon Musk was that type of guy who went into the interviews and he just excitedly shared how he is cool with the rocket blowing up into 1 million pieces, and hey, yo, did you see that fireball? Mm-hmm. And so on. And he is just excited about trying the next one. But they were in front of closing with Saudi Arabia to shoot up 100 and I don't know how many satellites for them. And he was just a couple of weeks before and talking about how he's fine with rockets blowing up, and they were like billions into that rocket right now, and so she was managing that he doesn't say anything stupid before the big deals where really money is coming in. And I think David and Dan and Reese, they need someone like that says, here are your talking points, that is the strategy that we have, stick to it, and if you want to share something, here's your leak footage, so leak something planned, right? Yeah, so that I think they need something like that.
Yeah, because even like I agree, and I think they'd be well served to just get someone like that to control the overall narrative. Even something like Vivv Verse and rolling it out for the first time, they put Will Goes Meta in a situation where he had to stream it, right? And we didn't think about like the rendering quality and through YouTube and what could go wrong. If I am the head of a company and this is a flagship part of my company moving forward, I would want to make sure that it's not in a position to go wrong at all.
Yep.
Right?
100%. 100%. I think in general they missed an opportunity. Everyone in the chat and we both, whatever you think of Hello K, but I think he was the guy who made the suggestion that you just take a nice playthrough of the Vivv Verse and cut it into 100 pieces and release something every second day or so, or even into 300 something pieces and release something every day of it. And as a YouTube short, or I don't know what, right? So they could have just filled up the Vivv channel with footage, and maybe that is coming in the future, we don't know. But I think, yeah, there are some missed chances on putting out their own stuff and showing it. And I think the idea that they had with the video from Tails is not a bad idea, but it should be simultaneously and say, look, besides what we are putting out, here's a content creator that did something. Or maybe they could have even helped him filming that in high quality, or I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, so again, like someone put it in here, I think it was Mark said they set the expectations like sky high for that debut. And again, maybe it's best to just drop it out of nowhere. You know, you saw like musicians in the last 10 years or whatever, like Beyonce would just drop an album without any fanfare, no publicity, and then it would, you know, catch fire. You know, it'd be trending because it came out of nowhere. And that is over delivering a bit on communication where you have zero expectation of something coming your way. And even if it's like a teaser video, it creates excitement.
Yeah, or you could even play with this rogue leakage, right? You just agree with one of the beta testers who is close to you, or I don't know, to just, hey, you go live and streaming, and then we are going to post, hey, that is unauthorized sharing of content, and everyone is excited, yo, what's going on, right? So they could have done a lot of these rogue actions where everyone is talking about them, and yeah. But they didn't. Yeah. So hopefully they are learning from this a little bit, because they cannot blame the fam every time that the fam gets upset with things. Sometimes it's also the company, the person, whoever is emitting all the stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You're in other communities? Like, do you follow? I know you're in
Web3?
VeChain. Yeah, I know you're in VeChain and are you in communities like you're in this one?
No, not at all. And also it's impossible almost, because even if I wanted, there would not be enough time. I think if you see, I mean, you know it yourself, how much time we dedicate to setting our live talks up, our videos, tweeting, and I don't know what. So that takes a lot of time. I mean, Vivv Vault is also here, has one of I think the biggest channel still by subscribers. I mean, he has been on a probably the most impressive grind. He knows also how much work goes into that stuff. And so I think it's impossible to be in another community at the same time. And also, to be honest, I don't find the other communities that attractive as the one. And that's the biggest power of Ecomi and Vivv. That community is, if you flip the switch on this community and get them bullish, I think they will turn around everything for you.
Yeah. Because my question was, like, are other communities, do they put everything under the microscope the way that we do?
Do they? Probably not, because I see a lot of, I mean, I'm not in the community, but I see a lot of comments on stuff like VeChain or so, and I never see this type of, but that only shows how emotional this community is, and also the content. In the other, let's put it this way, in all other Web3 and crypto projects, it's relatively clear that you are in for an investment. And you think the product is great, but you're in for an investment. If you say that you're in for an investment in Vivv and Ecomi, you have directly 100 minions at your face saying, no, this is a collector's app, and the other one is a collector's token that gives you collector points to get collectibles, right? But I mean, and this is really weird, because their big profits, like David, they themselves have basically put out many times examples that collecting is about financial value. Why did David put out a bounty of 15,000 for #1 Iron Man from Funko? Why did David say in that interview with Al Khan, and whatever happens, remember that this is the first appearance of all the every collectible on Vivv is the first appearance, and it is like buying MC1 in 1938. Yeah, well, if he's not referring to the price, then he can only refer to the age, and that means that you are dead by the moment that it gets to value, right? So if you had bought in 1938 MC1, you are now a millionaire, but you are peeing in a bag, right? Or need a wheelchair, or I don't know what.
And we
So,
can't
yeah.
have it both ways, right? When the Walt statue goes to $50,000 and we're touting it and praising it and showing it to everyone, but then like when it's down, or when like, you know, values are down, you can't call it a collector's app when values are down and talk about how great of an investment it was when values are up. And then also it's intrinsically tied in because the value is right there when you open your vault. There's a vault value, top right corner.
Exactly. Yeah. One more example. Yeah, good one. I didn't even realize that, but that's actually the best of all of those examples. Why did they implement the vault value?
Yeah.
And then also, and then also the same people that are saying it's a collector's app, they are saying because of comments like you, the vault values are going down. It's, why do you care then that I comment? Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, Mark agrees. And I think that most people, sensible people, know that, sure, you might want to collect things, but you're also hoping that they go up in value. You can be both things, right? But you can't totally negate and disregard the fact that we want these things to go up in value, especially when we're running to price prediction videos on drop day for big ones.
Absolutely. And I think value is one of these. They always say mass adoption, or many people say mass adoption. How do the masses come in? How did the masses get excited about Pokemon again after leaving the schoolyard in the 4th grade?
Yes.
They got excited again because Shadowless Charizard Holo is a $50,000 pull. That's literally the excitement.
That's what got me back to baseball cards in my 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's because, and it was always like this. I know I have 1-2 followers that try to debate me on that every time, that they are collecting something and it's not about the value. But at least for me, and then they say I'm not a real collector, but for me, the most shiny thing when I collected stamps were the stamps that are super valuable or super scarce, or had some kind of like, in my great grandfather has some albums with stamps that are from, I don't know, pre-First World War and stuff like that, or between the First and Second World War, and then also some with special. So you know, when hyperinflation was before the Second World War, they had to re-stamp the stamps with another value. So there are some stamps in his collection that has restamping, and those restamps, they are more valuable than the original one because there are only a couple of them. It's like 200 Reichsmark for for this one, and then there's a stamp on it for 2,000, so it just 10x. But back to the point, that is what you're looking for. It's scarce, it's special, and either you get in your collectors community, you get recognition for it, which is a form of non-fiat, non-crypto payment, basically, in those communities. You are like, you have a status, or you have something very, very valuable, which also gives you status until you are selling it and makes you rich.
Yeah, this is funny from Felipe. He's collecting Omi.
No value right now.
But he's a collector at heart, so it's okay.
We're in for the coins, not for the dollars.
Sound Money made an interesting point here I wanted to talk about. There is no metaverse narrative. I kind of agree with this. I think that narrative has run its course. That was last cycle. And I don't see a metaverse narrative this upcoming cycle. I think that it is going to be, gaming will be the big one. What do you think about that in terms of, a lot of us liked, part of the reason why I like Omi is because of that metaverse narrative, but I feel like that's not going to be a thing this cycle.
I think you can spin with Ecomi and Veve if you want. You can spin it into whatever narrative is coming out. So right now, the narrative of the day is AI. I literally see that even in my work environment. Everything's AI. If you want, you just put out a teaser how AI, Risu Batman talks to AI Joker. Yeah, a basic rudimentary AI that does some conversation in the vault, and voila, you have a metaverse with AI integration. Let's go, right? So I don't think that this is the biggest problem. But and then he said that gaming is the future. We didn't see a real metaverse yet. Everything is just a game. I mean, you cannot tell me that Decentraland or something like that is fundamentally different from World of Warcraft. And if you cannot tell that difference, I mean, clearly in World of Warcraft, there were no NFTs. So Web3, yes, that is, but it's still a Web3 game technically. And I'm always of the opinion that something like World of Warcraft in 2004 was already the first iteration of a metaverse, because the whole aspect of running together in a world and you can do everything, like you are not bound to any storyline like 80% of the time was sitting around a campfire and talk something or raid something which you're not supposed to, or breach the limits of it or try to break it. So yeah, but the metaverse for me is something that would be a layer between reality and that virtual space between, yeah, like augmented reality in the visual form is. And yeah, basically, yeah, something like I think we need something like streaming collectibles into each other's very light glasses that we can use the entire day and so on. But then, yes, then we would have this meta in between layer. When we meet in the physical world, that layer is there, and when we meet in the virtual world, we can still transport it as well, right? So, but that's only my interpretation of that. And but gaming is very short-lived. I don't know. Gaming was already.
You mean the narrative of gaming in terms of crypto,
yeah,
the sector that's going to pump?
Yeah, I think so. The narrative is there at the moment. There are a couple of gaming coins that are pumping like crazy. So it's undeniable. It's undeniable that it's there. Yeah. But it was also there in the last cycle. Illuvium, for example, was
Illuvium did pump. But Illuvium was also riding that. I don't know much about Illuvium, but it was also riding the metaverse wave.
But it was technically, I mean, Illuvium was built as it's like a Pokemon where you hunt monsters. It can be an NFT. So it was Web3 gaming, I think, from the label. So I don't think that they run under metaverse, or do they? Maybe Sound Money knows about this, but if he agrees or not. But I mean, I think it's a Web3 game where you can collect these alluvials or catch them,
right. That's
and then have them as NFTs, and then there's a currency and so on. But this was Web3 gaming was around in the last cycle as well.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole, did you see that Roblox news of, I guess, them talking about incorporating NFTs?
Yeah, so I saw the thumbnail of Kyle Wilson. That's it. More I didn't see. But hey, Kyle, that works in the algorithm. So I saw it.
Yeah, apparently the CEO talked about on some live show about the future of incorporating NFTs, and reference possibly selling like an Elton John created cape for one of the characters that you'd be able to take out of there, but also bring back. So like interoperability and incorporating NFTs into Roblox. Do you think that? So we're going to see obviously more mainstream adoption of the technology, and perhaps Omi and Veve tied to the big IP can ride that wave. Or no?
I don't know. If they could, if they wanted to. I don't understand why they didn't. The whole criticism with the interoperability, you can shut that up if you only take one of these artists, which they are friends with, and say, hey, look, let's make your collectibles interoperable. And then you say, hey, look, guys, we made them interoperable, and the rest will follow when the licensor agrees. And then you just talk to the licensor so he doesn't agree. And if they want, you do it. I mean, I cannot imagine that what was one of these super small artists from DesignerCon. I can't even remember the name because I'm not super much in art, in these arts things. But there was the woman that made some of these pictures, and I think, or designers that did this Vultura Macabra and stuff like that. Why don't make 2 of these interoperable just to show that it's possible and that it's coming somewhere? I don't know.
I know that would be such an
maybe
easy
around
win.
English or so. Yeah, exactly. Like Philippe says. Yeah.
It would be such an easy win for them to give us artists interoperability, self-custody. But I think for them, it's more on the tech side and an inability to implement it right now.
And also it would be very interesting because it would actually bring the focus on that they would have to take that collectible, and then when someone wants to move it out to MetaMask wallet or something, they would actually have to mint it on Ethereum, right?
So would that change anything? I'm not like a tech guy.
I'm also not a tech guy, so 2 tech noobs are talking about this right now. So if we are saying something stupid, then let us know in the chat. But as far as I understand or understood it from trying to understand what Kay and others tried to teach me about this, is that basically all the information, metadata, and so on, token information that usually on an Ethereum NFT is minted on the chain is stored in a database, and IMX doesn't have their own blockchain. But the roadmap of the ownership is the only thing, like who owns which is the only thing that's minted to Ethereum. So if you want to move your NFT, your token, that token has to be minted first, in my opinion, or as far as I understand it. So you cannot mint something that's only stored in a database, in an IMX database, or you cannot move that just as it is to your MetaMask wallet and then, I don't know, list it on OpenSea, or I don't know, something like that. So that's how I basically understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Stan asking the Pags exit. Pags should be here. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he
got rug pulled.
Was that? Yeah, we got rugged by Pags. Or maybe he thought that the time was different. So we'll see if he shows up. If not, we got me and Hodler here. No bull. Episode 3. It's all good. You saw that the ETH pumped 2,100 last I saw right before this stream. Great. BlackRock applied for an ETF. ETH ETF. Did you catch that?
Yeah, actually a smart move in my opinion, because if they are already not the first because of ARK Invest, as far as I know, ARK Invest did not apply for an Ethereum spot. This is a spot Ethereum ETF, as far as I understand, because Ethereum futures ETFs are already approved. So it's crazy news, because that means that now they already have to discuss whether altcoins that work like Ethereum are securities or not. They have to decide that now. And basically BlackRock put a timer on it if they filed for it, because there will be the same mechanism of dates of rejecting. They can reject it. Okay, they can reject it for once, and then there will be the time where they refile it again.
Yeah.
Oh, daily close in 5 minutes. Okay.
It's at 21.30.
Yep.
Up 12%. Yeah.
You mean ETH is at 21.30?
ETH is at $2,130.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's so. Another interesting thing that I saw was that Grayscale. I didn't know that before. That Grayscale has a Chainlink trust, like they have a Bitcoin trust. So I shared this on stream this morning. And
don't they also have like Solana and ADA in a trust?
Yeah, they seem to have a lot, several altcoins as a trust. Yeah. But what I was thinking is, so if you have the trust, and the trust is like, there's this whole argument at the SEC that you have to prove that the market is similar to the main market, so to say, as for example, also with the correlation of futures ETFs to the spot ETF, that there's basically the futures ETF have a 99% correlation to the actual price of the asset, which is why the argument of manipulation does not work. So, and that's also probably one of the reasons why on which grayscale basis their claim to convert the grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF, that these markets are very similar. But it made me thinking, if we have the development with Ethereum already right now, and we have trusts already with, on altcoins, how far are we actually away from altcoin NFTs? Yeah, mixed NFTs and stuff like that.
Correct. Which would be the
not
next.
ETFs, sorry. Yeah.
Go.
ETFs.
Yeah, because that would then be the next push, right? To get, and I would expect it to be those blue chips, layer ones, Chainlink, which is like the leading Oracle, right? A blue chip Oracle. You're going to see those blue chip crypto assets packaged in an ETF. It's crazy adoption over time.
Yeah. So we see it right now. These institutions are basically forcing that stuff into narrative.
Yeah.
Which means that they are scared to not take part in the, like, what do they want? They're not here because they love decentralized applications and stuff.
No, they don't like Web3.
They want a share of the market. And they tried it in the previous bull run and it was rejected. Now they seem to succeed on Bitcoin. And the question is, will it be this run, or will the SEC be able to drag it out until the next bull run then, with the altcoin NFTs, ETFs? Sorry, it's super late and my brain is fried. So that's why.
What time is it for you right now?
Sorry?
What time is it for you?
1 a.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Pags. I don't know what happened to Pags. I think I spoke to him at 2 hours before we went live. He said, "Thanks for sharing the link." I said, "See you later." He said, "Thanks for the link." So I don't know if he mixed up the times. We'll see if he comes through.
Maybe with the change of time. Is he in another?
No, he's in New York also. So I don't think that there should have been confusion. But
maybe he's buying some. He's busy buying.
Maybe he's in the Vivv Verse. You think we're in the early stages of a bull run? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, in my opinion, yes. So if you look at the Bitcoin chart and you draw a horizontal line on the previous bull market support, this is the first time that we're back above it. So I know that there are a lot of people that are looking with fear on the traditional markets. But I think the odds for us to usually how it works is that we have seen a lot of downturns again in the market when the Fed stopped rate hiking and when they start cutting the rates, but not because that causes the downturn, but actually whatever the crash is causes the Fed to lower the rates again to save the economy. So I think right now, and Jerome Powell spoke today and said they are not convinced that they beat inflation and so on. Whatever it is, the policy will drag out until something major breaks in the economy. And that's probably what people are fearing. But so with regard, and there could be a major pullback in crypto, which will still not result, in my opinion, to a new low, which is why I say yes to the bull market. But I don't exclude the possibility that we get a major pullback and a second chance to get in, so there will not be a new low unless whatever happens is significantly worse than the C crisis in the first 1 to 2 months, where we had this major pullback. And even then, we did not put in a new low, and we went to a crazy bull run right after because of the money printing, right? So there was an incident, the Fed printed money, and then we went into the bull run. So the question is, will it be a major bank? Will it be several banks? Will it be just
Real
that we
estate.
go into a harder recession that the Fed needs to print us out of. I don't know. Or maybe it's just election year and in the US, right? And they start spending more money and everything creeps up, coils up. And they will usually they tell their citizens that we are in a recession. They are honest when it's almost over.
Right. And usually by the time you announce a recession, because it's 2 quarters worth of pullback, right, in GDP growth, it's usually coming to it. You're almost out of it by that time anyway, by the time you measure it and confirm it.
Yeah. And we had that already, I think. I think it was in the US.
They redefined
and then they said, oh no, but the rules are now different.
Yeah, they changed the definition.
Yeah, in Germany, we definitely are in the recession. I mean, we are the only major country with a negative growth, I think, or something like that. Like we're at least we don't have any growth. So yeah, we will see. The world is in turmoil at the moment, but usually once that dust settles and the money printing goes on, the next party starts.
Yeah, for sure. Pink Panther makes a good point here. I've seen many interviews with IMX founders. They never once said the word Veve. That I can understand that, but I did see. Did you see the? There was some IMX graphic that was put out that showed all of the projects associated with it, categorized. NFT, Web3, whatever, metaverse, gaming, and Veve was not there. Omi was not there.
So I think Ecomi was never.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Ecomi was never on that on these diagrams, but Veve certainly was. So I saw it, and I don't know what the reason is for that, because they must have a lot of projects, right, to fit in there. I don't know if this was the recent ones or if it's all of the ecosystem or if it's only the games. Yeah. So I would have to check that first, but I mean, I think we would know if there was anything like, hey, you are basically not considered anymore part of our ecosystem.
No, they're definitely a part of it, I'm sure. You know what I mean? But it just, I thought that was interesting.
Maybe they don't care because there's nothing coming out for the I don't know. Because they don't want to make it interoperable.
Yeah.
You could make it interoperable in that ecosystem, like the Veve NFTs.
Yeah, for sure. They have they enforce royalties, correct? If you sell in the IMX marketplace.
Yeah. They have enforceable royalties, which was confirmed. So there's no reason why not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on the tech side, and I think it was, who was it, Dan or was it David that said it? Mentioned technical. He front loaded the answer with the licensor narrative, but then he also mentioned the tech issues that accompany it. And I think that's what it is. And I think they do have so many things in the pipeline that they're trying to accomplish. And even if they've scaled the team, I don't know. I mean, they have to work on the Omi side of things, work on the loyalty program, MCP, and all the moving parts that I don't think it's.
Yeah, as we said in the beginning, I think you're right on this one, specifically because that seems to be one of the major lines throughout everything that has happened. That is a lack in technical expertise. But how do you feel about this whole thing with the bull run? Are you leaning more to the side major big world end crash WW3 or
No, I mean, my name is Danny the Bull, so bullish. I think that no bull. I think early stage bull run and pullback. I think there will be a pullback, but with higher lows along the way, and then take off at halving, or steady takeoff at halving.
That
I mean, we've been. I mean, the market. What's that?
I would appreciate that if the pullback comes. I mean, I need to buy a little bit more.
It's got to breathe, right? I mean, everything it doesn't go up in a straight line, and we're nearing like the euphoria phase, right, where people are kind of like getting to the point where they're flashing their gains. And I know that we need a breather because my brother called me today and asked me what coins he should buy, and I've been trying to tell him the last year what to buy, and he was mocking me along the way.
Then it's time to be careful. Yeah.
Time to be careful.
Yeah. Okay, that is very interesting. So from my family, actually, no one approached me yet, except one family member that that was sticking through the whole thing and bought in the bear market. So that doesn't count because that person is already educated. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you've got. How much more time do you have? You have to go soon. Yes.
We can do a couple of more minutes, but I mean, you decide in the end. So if you have any
we'll wrap it up. I don't know what happened to Pags. I'm going to have to reschedule the guy. He rugged us tonight, Mr. Pags. I don't know if he's in his bunker. We're preparing for World War III, but I'll get him back on. But
oh man,
we're wrapping up.
I hope that doesn't happen, man. I mean, but probably not.
I mean, do you think that there's a chance?
I mean, there's always a small chance, but I don't believe it happens. I mean, it has been declared so many times, and no one wants to self-destruct because I can only imagine that the World War III goes along with nuclear deployment, and I don't think that anyone wants to shoot themselves, right? So. So now your stream gets delisted here on YouTube because we said a lot of bad words.
Oh, in the chat?
No. Because,
us. Well, what words can we say?
I won't repeat them, but everything that I just said was loaded with words that we doesn't like. Yeah.
As we wrap up, 8 weeks left for the calendar year. What do you? What would you like to see realistically accomplished by Veve?
I would like to see one more thing coming out for Omi, and I think with Veve, they, in terms of partnerships and stuff like that, back soon. In terms of partnerships and brands, they are on a good way. I liked a lot their Funko stuff. I think the collectibles are increasing in quality. They are trying to get new, exciting collectible types. We know that there's a vertical coming. I think the music vertical was announced there. So I think on the Veve side, I'm not worried. I was always bullish on the Veve side. But on the Akomi side, I really want to see something, ideally before Christmas, and latestly when that event in France is happening, where some people are asking if I'm going. I'm looking at this right now. So flights and stuff.
Can you take the train there?
There is a possibility to take a train, yes.
So you gotta
you
gotta go.
The high-speed train actually goes between Paris and I think Frankfurt, and I've seen it also in Munich, I think. But yeah, there is definitely the possibility to go by train to France. It's not that far away. It's other dimensions in Europe than you're used to in the US.
Yeah, I know. That's the beauty of Europe. You guys can just jump between countries by jumping on a train.
Yeah. Kyle just said we are going to launch the Grumpy Pack coin.
It could go. It could pump.
Yeah.
I want to thanks for holding it down here tonight and having a good conversation. I appreciate you always coming through.
Thanks for having me. And actually, it was this hour and 10 minutes or so passed super high speed. So it was a really, really great conversation. Thank you for having me. And I mean, keep up the no ball, even if it was a rug ball right now. But we are going to get together with interesting guests here very, very soon, I bet. So guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now. Smash up the like button also, because I think that's definitely deserved. And yeah, that's it from my side, I guess. Danny, take it over.
And make sure you guys subscribe to Patient Hodler, one of the best voices in the community, always level-headed, realistic, will give you both sides of an argument, which is why I absolutely love talking to you. I think you and I vibe well together. So great chat.
Yep.
Next week, no bull. I got Dan Lee coming on the channel, along with Ron's Crypto Therapy, who's a really good, well-rounded crypto guy, and Jordan Riz, homie. So we'll have a diverse opinions here, and it should be another good one. And I'll get Pags will reschedule and hopefully not rug next time. So thanks for coming through, everyone in the chat. And
thank you
see you guys next time. Peace out.